Hi guys, welcome back to the channel FPL Consult here, and today we are going to be doing our Gameweek 28 Wildcard Team. So a lot of people will be wildcarding in Gameweek 28, and for various reasons I will cover all of them in this segment, and also later on we will be talking about some of the best differentials to have before we actually go into our best Gameweek 28 wildcard team. So if you guys like this video, help me out and give it a like. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are so close to 500 subscribers, so it'll be great if you guys can help me do that. But for now, let's get on with this video. So one of the pros of wildcarding earlier in Game Week 28 instead of Game Week 31 is that 90% of our Game Week 28 wildcard players would actually already be in the wildcard 31 team. So essentially, there is no need to delay using the wildcard up till Game Week 31. We can wildcard in Game Week 28 and it will essentially be the same team. So this also helps us to ease navigation from Game Week 28 up till Game Week 33 to 35, depending on the fixtures that are rescheduled because of all the postponements. So in that sense, that's a major advantage that we can have as well. And also another thing is the Game Week 28 fixture swing that we can take advantage of. So as we all know, Game Week 28 is a big fixture swing. So a lot of the players that we have currently, some of us still have a couple of West Ham players. Some also have Manchester United players as well. So these teams are actually teams that don't have a good fixture run from Game Week 28 onwards. So if we wildcard in Game Week 28, we can take advantage of the teams who have a better fixture run from Game Week 28 onwards. I will be posting a video for the best teams from Game Week 28 up till Game Week 33. So do keep a lookout for that. But in general, I would say that most of the teams that have a good fixture run from Game Week 28 up till Game Week 33, they're all players that we would want in our team, whether we wildcard in Game Week 28 or 31. So essentially bringing it forward is still quite a good decision. And also, another pro is that it prepares our team to maximize the points for the double Game Week 28 and 29 that have already been announced. So a lot of us have players right now. Some of us have some budget players from before when we wildcarded, and now they aren't really the best budget pick as well. So some budget picks, take for example Jacob Ramsey. He is a player that doubles in Game Week 28, and in that sense as well, if we can use these funds to maximize our players for the double game weeks, then I guess our whole team would be really in place for taking advantage of all the double game week fixtures. So in that sense, wildcarding also allows us to really maximize our team value for the double game week 28 and 29 fixtures. And lastly, another pro, actually quite a big one actually, is that we don't necessarily have to free hit in Game Week 30 if we wildcard in Game Week 28. I'll talk about this later on, but just a little bit of a spoiler is that most of the players that we would want to wildcard into our team in Game Week 28 all mostly have fixtures in Game Week 30. Maybe just for about one or two players where which we can maybe take a hit or two just to navigate that Game Week 30 big blank. But in essence, one of the big pros as well is that we really don't have to use the free hit in Game Week 30 if we wildcard now. And in that sense as well, those of us who have only one free hit chip left, wildcarding in Game Week 28 may be a good decision for you, because then you can save the free hit for later on, maybe in Game Week 33 where it's a blank and double as well. So now moving on to the cons, which aren't as great as the pros, but I think it's also important for us to consider, is that we don't have enough information for now about the future double game weeks. So just talking about Game Week 33, 34 and 35 onwards, where they are all possible doubles. So our team may not be in such a great position to capitalize on those future double game weeks, but the best that we can do right now is to prepare for up till what we know, which this team would prepare us up till about Game Week 33. So I guess in that sense as well, this is an opportunity cost that we have to consider as well. And lastly, of course, if we wildcard now in Game Week 28, then we wouldn't have the wildcard chip to prepare our team for a bench boost in Game Week 38, which is 36, which is a strategy that most of us initially wanted to use, or at least I wanted to use as well. So I am also considering using the wildcard in Game Week 28, and that's why I've laid out all these considerations and actually thought quite deep into this. So hopefully this video actually helps you guys as well. So now I'm going to move on to the best budget picks for wildcarding in Gameweek 28. It's because we all need budget picks for our team to enable our team to have some premiums as well. So I'll be talking about them. Hopefully, you guys find it useful. So on the screen right now are the best wildcard team enablers that I've picked out. I've gone through the list of them, and I feel like these are the best picks. And of course, these players are all playing players, because enablers in that sense, I would feel are important for them to be playing, because we wouldn't want players who are not playing. We could go for them, but in essence, if I'm wildcarding in Game Week 28, I would want at least some enablers on the bench, people who actually play, so that in the event that my starting 11 I get injured, etc., I do have players on my bench that I can count on, and it's important as well. So these I feel are the best enablers in each of these positions. So I'll cover the defenders first. And at 4.4 mil, I think 8 Nuri is one of the best enablers, because he is in the Wolves team, and as we all know, Wolves are pretty good in defense as well. They are just behind Man City in goals conceded. And in terms of their recent performance against Arsenal, where they conceded two slightly later in the game, I think that is pretty much a one-off situation where they kind of switched off. But I think over the course of the season, we have seen how Wolves have been a really solid team. So I guess one game doesn't really define the season, and they are still a very good side defensively. So 8 Nuri, I feel, is a good option at 4.4 mil. But something we have to consider is that he has been rotated once or twice in this season. So we do have to consider that. And I guess in that sense as well, we have a risk involved when we go for 8 Nuri. And also at 4.3 mil, we have Livramento. So he plays for Southampton, and they have a good run coming up from Game Week 28 onwards. But another thing is that a lot of the Southampton fans are saying that Livramento isn't a starter right now, that he is currently behind Perot and Kyle Walker-Peters. So we will have to wait and see, and I trust you guys have the judgment as well to decide whether he is actually a risky pick or not. But at 4.3 mil, I think it is a really good budget option. And then at 4.2 mil, there's Veltman, plays for Brighton, and of course he is a regular starter there, and Brighton are pretty good side defensively, so 4.2 mil is pretty cheap for us to get an entry into Brighton defense. And then at 3.9 mil is Johnson. So Johnson plays for West Ham, and I think the reason I've included him in is because Soufal is out for a pretty long time, and also Masuaku is out for a while as well. So West Ham are actually quite short on defenders, and they probably will have to call on Johnson once in a while. Maybe he may come into the starting 11 as well, so we can keep a lookout for that. But he is a good option at 3.9 mil. And then lastly, we have Daniel Amati. He plays for Leicester, and he is a regular starter there. So 3.8 mil for a regular starter, I think is a really good enabler. And then moving on to the midfield, we have at 4.8 mil, Jacob Ramsey and Anthony Elanga. So I think these two, for me, are the best budget picks in the midfield, just because Jacob Ramsey has been so good for Aston Villa. He's been picking up goals, assists, etc. Same for Elanga as well, and they're only 4.8 million, so that's really going to enable our team to have the funds to put into other areas of our team to strengthen the team overall. And at 4.5 mil, we have Gordon, who plays for Everton. We all know once in a while he's popped up with some pretty good returns as well. So he is quite a good option at 4.5 mil. And then at 4.3 mil, these are the cheaper enablers, Brownhill and Gilmore. So I don't expect them to get a lot of returns, even though Brownhill just got a 16-pointer in his double game week 26 fixtures. But that probably is a one-off. And I feel like at 4.3 mil, Brownhill and Gilmore are pretty much just good for appearance points. And then for the forwards, at 5.5 mil, the best enabler I would say is Broya, and he is one of the best strikers for I would say in Southampton he is one of the best strikers, just because he looks sharper than Che Adams and Shane Long, and also I feel like he has that youthful energy as well. So at 5.5 mil, I think we're getting a very good a striker who has a good run of fixtures as well. And then at 5.4 mil, we have Huang. I know Huang hasn't been performing that well of late, and he is someone that has just come into attention just because he scored against Arsenal. But I think because of the run that's coming up for Wolves is really good. They have doubles as well, so 5.4 mil is a decent consideration. And then at 5.2 mil, there's Mateta. So Mateta has currently kind of displaced Edouard in Crystal Palace, and most of us who actually brought in Edouard would probably be hating this guy right now, but actually he is a good option. So if we have Edouard, we can actually just take him out for Mateta, and he's cheaper as well. And he has scored. He recently scored for Crystal Palace as well. So he is someone that can get us returns, and at 5.2 mil, pretty good enabler as well. So yeah, hopefully this list of enablers are good for you guys to consider where you can get the best budget options, so that we can apply the funds to other areas of our team, so that we can get the best value for our team overall. So on the screen right now is the Gameweek 28 Wildcard Team that I've drafted up, and I feel like this team has taken into account a lot of the pros and cons that I've spoken about at the start, and also it takes into account the double game week fixtures that I've put on the left as well, and also the blank game week 30 fixture. So I put the fixtures on the left of the screen. Hopefully you guys can reference it when I'm explaining why I've gone for certain players. So yeah, let's just get straight into this team, and as you guys can see right off the bat, 3 Wolves players. So I have Jose Sa, 8 Nuri, and Jimenez. So I mentioned in the previous segment when we talked about enablers that 8 Nuri is a really good enabler. So that's why I've gone for him. And also Jose Sa doubling on Wolves defense is because they've been really good in defense, and they do have a double coming up in Gameweek 28, which is Crystal Palace and Watford, both at home. So both are good chances for them to get clean sheets there. And then Jimenez, he does have a good run up till about game week 33. So in that sense, I would want to have Jimenez in my team to keep him all the way up till then. So then after that, let's talk about the another triple that I've gone for in this team, and that's Arsenal. So I have Saka, Tierney, and Lacazette. So Tierney is for defensive coverage, and also he is pretty attacking as well. So we all know that he can potentially get attacking returns as well. And Arsenal is one of the teams that have really good fixtures all the way up till game week 33, and even further on up till, some say even up to 38, where their fixtures are really good. So tripling up on Arsenal is a really good option to have right now. And furthermore, they double in game week 29. So later on when I click next, and when we go on to game week 29, we will see that all the Arsenal players double. They play Leicester and Liverpool, so that's why we would want to have triple Arsenal as well. And then if we talk about the players that we definitely need to have, there's also another 3 of them. So it's Trent, Salah, and Cancelo. I think these 3 are non-negotiables, right? So currently we've covered almost 9 players already. So just talking about the other fringe players that I've gone for. So Rafinha, definitely we're going to want him. Leeds have a double in Game Week 28, and they have a very good run coming up from Game Week 28 up to 33 as well. So good to keep for the long run. And another player on the fringe as well that I think is really good is Broya. So he plays Villa and Newcastle in Game Week 28. So very good double for him as well. And then later on in the future game weeks up to Game Week, I think 35 actually, they have a really good run. So Broya, also one of the budget enablers that I spoke about just now, so definitely going to want him. And then another fringe player is Son. So Son is someone that I think I will really want to keep for a while, just because he's in good form since he's returned from injury. And also Spurs, I know they didn't play very well against Burnley, but attackingly I feel like Son is one of the creative sparks in the Spurs team. So if they do get a return, I feel like Son would be the one. Of course, his partnership with Kane, I've chosen to go for Son over Kane, because I do feel like Son is a little bit more involved in Spurs play at the moment. So I can't go for both in this draft, so I've chosen to go for Son instead. And then there's also Jacob Ramsey, who is also one of the budget enablers that I spoke about in the previous segment, where he doubles in Game Week 28. He's really good value. He gets returns for Aston Villa every few games, and I feel like he is pretty much one of the best budget midfield options. And on top of that, Aston Villa are pretty shaky in defense, and also up front, Watkins and Ings, that kind of no one really knows who's going to start. So in terms of Aston Villa, I feel like getting a midfielder is the better option. And for this team makeup, I couldn't afford Coutinho, of course, so Jacob Ramsey would have to do for Aston Villa coverage. And then there's 2 other players that I haven't mentioned, and that's Foster and Rudiger. So Foster, he's just going to be a on our bench. He's once again the cheapest playing keeper. So moving on to Rudiger, it is important for us to have a Chelsea defender in our team because as you guys can see, the double Game Week 28 fixtures, Chelsea have a potential to double. So they may play Burnley and either Norwich or Arsenal. But that, of course, hasn't been confirmed yet. So we will keep a lookout for that. But if they do, we definitely want at least one Chelsea defender. Because in that sense, I feel like midfielders don't really have a lot of midfielders that appeal to us. In terms of attackers as well, Lukaku also is under firing at the moment. So I would say that Rudiger is kind of the better options right now. If Reece James was available, of course, I would say we go for Reece James. And at the point of recording, he is not available yet. So I've chosen for Rudiger. If by the time you guys are setting your team that Reece James is available, then it would make sense to downgrade Rudiger to Reece James. Saves us money as well, and he's a better option as well. So Rudiger will have to do for now for Chelsea defensive coverage. So yeah, that's it. That's the team. And if you look at this team, I would say that it's pretty much a very balanced team as well, where we can take advantage of a lot of the fixtures in double Game Week 28 and 29. And moving forward, I will show you guys how in blank Game Week 30, where there are only 3 fixtures, so Leicester versus Brentford, Wolves and Leeds, and also Aston Villa and Arsenal, this team is in pretty good shape that we don't have to free hit as well. So I'll move forward to Game Week 30 now, and as we can see, I'll sub in all the players that have fixtures. So all the Arsenal players have fixtures. Manchester City isn't playing. Trent doesn't have a game as well, but I think all the players that that have a fixture in Game Week 30 are already in the team. So Sa has a fixture because Wolves play Leeds. So Sa, Nuri, and Jimenez all are playing. Rafinha is playing. Lacazette, Saka, and Tierney are all playing. Ramsey is also playing. So essentially the only players that aren't playing in this team right now is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah, and Broja. So something to consider as well is that we are wildcarding in Game Week 28. So we have 2 free transfers leading up to Game Week 30, which we can either roll or we can make a transfer each game week. But in essence, we can bring our team into a state where it is possible that we only need to make 1 or 2 transfers in Game Week 30 and we have a full starting 11. So in that sense, this team right now on the screen for Game Week 30 is based on our Game Week 28 wildcard. But we have to consider as well that by then we would have made 2 transfers, and these 2 transfers can set our team for Game Week 30. So considering that Salah and Trent are probably players that we would still want to keep in our team, we can probably sub out other players as well. And something to note as well is that Broja may have a fixture in Game Week 30 because Southampton is probably one of the teams that are more likely to have their fixture in Game Week 30 to be confirmed in terms of their FA Cup performance as well. So let's keep a lookout for that. But for now, as you guys can see, blank Game Week 30 is also covered. So moving back to Game Week 28, I think something to note as well is that all the fixtures on the left of the screen I've highlighted in green and red, and that's because the green teams are obviously the teams that I feel are probably teams that would perform better, and the red teams I feel are, maybe not traps, but I guess teams that I don't think have that good double game weeks. And in that sense, it's not possible for us to target both double game weeks because we are wildcarding in Game Week 28, and in Game Week 28 the teams that double aren't the teams that would be doubling in Game Week 29 except for Newcastle, which they don't have very good fixtures as well. So it's very difficult for us to set a team that would have many doublers in Game Week 28 and also have many doublers in Game Week 29. So it's important for us to find the balance as well. And I feel like this team has the balance for both double Game Week 28 and 29. And I'll talk about it right now. So in Game Week 28, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doublers. And then in Game Week 29, we also have quite a couple of doublers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doublers. So 6 doublers in Game Week 28 and 6 doublers in Game Week 29, I feel is kind of the best balance that we can find. Of course, many other drafts out there can maybe take advantage of more in the Game Week 28, but less in Game Week 29. and maybe vice versa as well. But it is important for us to note that some of the players we have to keep long term as well, because we are wildcarding. So as much as we want to take advantage of the doubles, we have to think long term as well. So I feel like this team probably presents the best balance and value overall. And yeah, so this is the draft. I hope you guys find it useful. Maybe some of the picks are some players that you can go for. And yeah, I hope this draft actually helps you craft your wildcard team. So that's it for this video. I hope it was useful. I may end up using this draft because I am considering wildcarding in Game Week 28 as well. Do keep a lookout for that in my team selection videos. But for now, thank you for watching. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are going to reach 500 subscribers so soon. So it'll be great to come on this adventure together with me. And yeah, it'll be great if you guys can do that. But for now, I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.